What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and another video. Today, we are tier listing NFL alternate helmets, the new ones that are coming out. NFL changed the rule to where there's no longer a one cap rule, which means we got some cool helmets. And just like the hockey jerseys and the spring training hats, we're going to tier list them. I'm here today with my good friend, Justin Arth. And you can follow him on TikTok and Instagram, and that'll be at JArthQB11. And then he is at JustinArthQB on Twitter. He has a YouTube as well. All of those will be in the description. The links to that will be in the description.
Thank God that the NFL finally is relaxing their one cap rule so we can see some of these amazing helmets, but maybe unfortunately see some of these terrible helmets too. But let's get into the tier list to really see which ones are amazing and which ones are hideous and it'd be thrown in the bin.
Let's get into it here without wasting too much time. The first one on my list here, I don't have any ranked. I think Justin has already ranked them.
Yep.
But the first one I'm looking at here is the Dallas Cowboys throwback helmet. That's the white with the blue star, the navy star, with no like white outline. I kind of like this one as a Cowboys fan. I'll go first. And I kind of like it. And I like that it lets us bring back like the 60s throwback. I think that's a real clean look. It was a look we wore, I think, every Thanksgiving when Romo was playing, and then that helmet rule got changed, so they kind of went to like the 90s jerseys. But I'm excited for those to come back, man. I think there's definitely some Cowboys bias here, but for me personally, I'm gonna throw this in amazing because nostalgia for me, I think, takes over. But you're probably less biased about Cowboys, so where would you throw this?
Well, I will say I'm a fan of the Cowboys white helmets. But if I had to put one in amazing and one in good, you know what? We'll scrap that and get that closer to whenever we talk about that helmet. But I would say the throwback helmet would be in the good tier for me.
Okay.
The fact that you bring the uniforms back, I think, is amazing. There's one or two things that when we talk about the Cowboys alternate helmet that I think ranks it a little higher for me.
Okay.
The blue jerseys matching with this throwback helmet, I think, make it an amazing tier, and it's good that the Cowboys uniforms are back. It's what my dad grew up watching when he was a Viking and Cowboy fan all the way up in Minnesota. But no, I think the uniform combination is amazing, but the helmet for me is just good, just because the other Cowboy helmet has some things that I like about it more that puts it in the amazing tier.
I guess I'll explain the rules of the tier list because we didn't do that at the start of the video. What we're going to do, we're going to throw as many in whatever tier that we want. We're going to try it a little bit differently this time. And at the end, we're just going to decide from the two of us which the best are. We don't have a third be a tiebreaker, but hopefully in a semi-civil discussion with very limited profanity, we will figure out which helmet we deem to be the best. So we'll leave that one at the top of good. I feel you make a good point. I think the jersey elevates the helmet. The helmet itself, maybe not amazing, but I would say pretty good. If there was a tier between good and amazing, I would throw it there.
The Philly black helmet, I think, looks better in person than what it actually does in general. But to me, it just screams whatever. It's the exact same helmet as the Kelly green, or not the Kelly green, the deep midnight green or whatever Philadelphia's green is. Don't crucify me, Philadelphia Eagles fans that have seen me on Philadelphia Eagles podcasts before. Not sure what your gang green or whatever it's called is. But no, the helmet's good, but it doesn't scream anything to me, so I'm throwing that in whatever.
I will say I'll probably agree with you. I think it's very average. I don't know that it's better than their normal helmet.
Yeah.
And I also, looking at it like on TV, which is where 95% of people are going to see this, or like on your phone on a Twitter clip, it doesn't look that different from the normal helmet because the normal helmet's already a pretty dark green at times, depending on the lighting or the field you're playing at. All right, so the next one, sticking with the black theme, is the New York Jets black helmet. In contrast to what we just said about Philly, I think the green helmet for New York is a little bit brighter, so you can tell a difference. I still don't think it's amazing. I'll put it in decent because I do think it's better than Philly's, but I don't think it's up there with the Cowboys white helmet, which at this point is the only other one that is not the Phillies black helmet that we've ranked.
I don't think we're going to be cussing at each other very much to figure out tiebreakers because to me, after seeing it in person, I kind of wanted to put it in whatever, but after seeing it in person, how the green and like the green face mask and the green Jets logo are kind of
Yeah.
metallic and still pops. To me, it's not great, but it's not whatever either. So it's just decent. It's a good helmet, but I still think it's not better than their original green rebranded helmet.
The thing about this Jets helmet is I don't know what they would have done and kept a black helmet and made it better.
Yeah.
The next one we have here is the New York Giants throwback. I guess we're going to say it is a darker blue than their normal one. It's more of like a navy and it says Giants across the side. Justin, what do you think of this one?
So I've gone back and forth with this helmet in terms of is it decent, is it good, but I'm going to change my list that I even have here and move it from decent into good. To me, it screams though. I believe it's one of the like the 1970s or 1980s throwbacks with like the Phil Simms era
Yeah.
of New York, and I really like that era of New York Giants football in terms of their look that they had. So for me, this is good tier. Bringing back old throwbacks that have nostalgia for whether it's New York fans or just NFL in general, I think was a very big benefit to some of these teams. So for me, I'm throwing it probably bottom of good tier, but it could be teetering between like that decent to good for me.
I I would agree. I personally would put it top of decent. I just don't know that for me it's in the same realm as the Cowboys white helmet. I think there are other helmets that are in that realm, and even probably better than that helmet. Something we might do at the end actually is what helmets would we like to see brought back now that the rule has changed? So that's something to think about as we go through
Okay.
these. Maybe we'll do that at the end. The Arizona Cardinals. This is black. Is that true? It kind of looks brown on my screen, but
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals one is black.
I feel like I've seen this. They've worn this at this point, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
they
have a
warned.
picture of it on the video, but
Yeah, I remember Kyler wearing or a picture surfaced on social media of Kyler wearing it in like training camp when they
yeah.
first really revealed the helmet, and I remember you sent it in our group chat at some point. Um, but I think this helmet's better in person than what it even is on TV or in general. So for me, I like the thought and the idea of it, but for me, it's a bad helmet. It's in
Really?
bad tier.
Okay. I was gonna say it's whatever. I would equate this to being like with the Philly helmet, maybe a little bit worse than the Philly helmet.
Yeah, with the Cardinals logo, what makes it bad for me is just the fact that yeah, the Cardinals red and yellow pop on the helmet, but something about the logo and the design of the helmet just doesn't sit right with me on a black helmet or a black metallic helmet like that, as
Yeah.
opposed to like the Philadelphia Eagles kind of in a way like the old St. Louis Rams design where it was just a painted ram horn on the helmet. It's just painted eagle wings on the helmet, and that can work with any color as the background. So
Sure.
for me, I still think that's what separates Philadelphia from Arizona's.
We'll leave that one in bad then. So why don't you go here with the Bengals like snow tiger helmet situation?
I similar to the Giants, I keep going back and forth between good and decent because I really do like this helmet. I really do like the fact that the Bengals were trying to do something different, but I like the whiteout theme. But it still goes in decent for me. I don't think it's better than the Jets, or I think it's probably better than the Jets logo or Jets helmet. But I still don't. I think it's on the same tier as like where the Giants helmet is, but I think the Giants, just for nostalgia factor, for
Yeah.
most NFL fans, put it above the Bengals helmet. Even though I'm still a fan of it, I may put it in decent tier, but I'm still a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I guess we are going to agree on 95% of these. I would say it's better than the Jets helmet. I like that it's different. I like that they went for something. Did they hit with the full uniform? You know, who's to say?
Yeah.
But I do like that they went for something different.
I mean, I think at least with the Cincinnati fans wanting wideouts, because I want to say the fans were wanting wideouts with like their Thursday night football jerseys. With whenever
Yeah,
the color rush stuff was a thing, they went all white for that, and so obviously that's the next thing you can do to add in an all white helmet for that color rush. I don't think it's a bad option, but I do think the Cincinnati Bengals long term, if they are allowed 3 helmets, need to have their normal orange with black stripes, a black with orange stripes, and a white with black stripes. Because I don't
yeah.
think a white with orange stripes would look very good.
Yeah. So the Saints black helmet, in my opinion, is awfully tough. I'm not a huge fan of it. It is, again, I think there are some teams that you're like, yes, they finally get a second helmet. But I don't think the Saints needed a second helmet. I think the helmet they have is the helmet that we will forever think about the Saints having. I don't,
Yeah.
unless they change brands in a big way, I don't really see a way that they go away from gold. I think this is one of the few that is a mistake. I'm going to stick this. I don't think it's hideous, but I'm going to stick it in bad right next to the Cardinals helmet. So I just don't think it
Okay.
needed to exist.
So this is where I think I disagree with you just a little bit, but not too much. I have it in the bottom of the whatever tier, um, but I want to give props to the Saints for trying something different. I do like the idea of the helmet, but I do think if you're the New Orleans Saints, the only logical thing to try to do as a alternate helmet to your Alabama football esque helmet that the Saints have, where that's the only helmet that will ever be associated with the Saints.
Yep.
I think you got to go go full Mardi Gras and like go purple gold helmet. And try to
Yeah.
create a new like alternate color rush jersey that maybe you wear like once a year. That's like Mardi Gras themed. But other than that, but then again, knowing how the Saints are, they probably wouldn't get that right either. So I like the
Yeah.
thought behind the helmet, but it's not better than the Eagles helmet to me. But I do think it's better than the Cardinals, so I threw it bottom of whatever. Houston, it's different, and it's a good different. Now, do I think it works with the uniforms they have? Absolutely not. But as a helmet itself, I think it's a very good helmet. So I'm putting this in the good tier, but I still think the Cowboys throwback is better. So I would put it right below the Cowboys throwback. I think
Okay.
if the Houston Texans were to rebrand, now obviously if they were to rebrand, I would like them to be the Houston Oilers. Um, and
Yeah.
that red cherry helmet could still be an alternate with the Houston Oilers. Just with stick the Oilers logo on the side of that thing, and that would probably look good with the powder blue.
Yeah.
But still, no. I mean, the Houston Texans as a franchise are just kind of and to me, unless they want to start paying my bills. Then they'll be great. But the
Yeah.
but no, the Texans helmet is good. But as a uniform combination, not very good.
I will. I feel like this is going to be the first one we really disagree on because I don't like this helmet even kind of. I like their branding is just boxed them in because there's nothing
Yeah.
you can do because they've had the Navy helmet right for so like since they started.
Hmm.
Uh, and so like the only other colors are red or white. I think white would look worse than this, but
Yep.
in my opinion, red just doesn't look great. I do
Well,
appreciate that they were like, we don't have anything else. So
yeah. And they want to make headlines too. Well, I guess the only thing you could
Yeah.
potentially do, if there's any graphic designers out there watching and want to mock some things up for us, since it's the Houston Texans and the Texans logo is essentially the Texas flag, but as a Longhorn, um, you might as well do something with the Texas flag and have the Texas flag stripe or something like that going down the center of the helmet, as like either a white helmet or that same red, or I don't know. Somebody mock something up crazy and
I
or put
almost
the "Do not mess with us" or whatever it is
yeah.
thing that I see all the time in Texas, like with the black cannon and stuff. Maybe make that the side logo.
I feel like Texas Tech had a helmet like this, I think, but it just like was the Texas flag. Like the star was on one side and it like wrapped to the other side and it was
Yeah,
like red and
I could see
like
that.
that could
I
be
think
real
that.
interesting, especially for a team called the Texans. I feel like
Yeah,
you could get away with that. Um, I maybe you don't go full on Houston Oilers, but like a powder blue could have been real interesting.
yeah. The only reason why I think they can't go powder blue is the Titans are in the same division and they don't want to sell the rights to the Houston organization. I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why they can't.
So the next one I'll lead off is the Cowboys alternate, which they have not worn yet. It's the white helmet with the modern day star, I guess would be the way to put that. I think I'm going to like this a lot on the field, but also it looks very similar to me than the throwback. But I think as a helmet, I like it maybe a little bit more than the throwback. So I'll throw it at the very top of good, bordering amazing for me. But I could be talked into amazing, but I think it's top of good for me for now. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think these cowboy helmets are two different tiers, kind of like how I alluded to at the very beginning. For me, I think the new Cowboys logo with the white the inbound kind of outline, or the inlining, I think makes this white helmet stand out even more. And maybe hot take, controversial opinion here, but I think if the Cowboys use the alternate helmet with the throwback uniforms, I think that makes the uniform like ultra amazing. And so for me, I put that alternate in the amazing tier, just because I think it's better than the throwback. And although I like the throwback, it's for me that something about that helmet just pushes it up a tier. It separates
Okay.
itself. So um, since I have the Cowboys helmet top of good on my list, it has to move up a tier for me. So the Cowboys alternate's an amazing.
I can see that, dude. Zeke Elliott is looking a whole lot like a Power Ranger this year with his helmet choice and the visor too. The visor doesn't, the dark visor is not helping the Power.
Yeah, I don't know what Riddell did with those helmets. I want to try one on just to see how it really feels, but those things are way too expensive. I'm not touching those things for a while. I will keep my speed flex and be happy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's do the Bears orange helmet. Where do you have this? Because I'm very interested to hear.
As a half Vikings fan, I do not like the Bears. But I will say this is whatever to bad for me. I know what I said about the Texans being in good tier, but I kind of feel the exact opposite with this helmet. Yeah, you're kind of put in a weird predicament with the Bears branding where you have the orange C on a navy blue helmet. So yeah, let's just invert the colors.
Yeah,
And I think the thought process of it is good. But for me, it's kind of like the Cardinals. It's like it's bad. I don't know what I would do, but I think the Bears have one of those classic helmets similar to that of the Saints, where it's like, all right, you didn't need to do this. You don't have a uniform to complement this, so it's just bad. I do think it's better than the Cardinals, but I think it's whatever to bad.
I I will. I'm gonna disagree with you, but I think this needs to be shipped to any other country that I don't need to look at it because this is it's just straight up it's worse than bad for me.
Oh,
Like
so horrendous tier here.
dude, it's bad. I should so, and let me tell you about this. I showed this to my mother, or maybe my mother walked in the room and there's like a Bears clip playing, and she doesn't really follow football, but she saw them like in the orange helmet and orange jersey and was like, "What is that?"
And it's two different shades of orange too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's
It's
bad.
terrible. Now,
It,
I do
it
think like when I was making this list, I only put one in hideous. And we'll get to it at some point. But I don't think this one's
okay.
hideous, and I think I'm giving them brownie points just because they did something different
Yeah.
and had a good idea going with an orange helmet. But no, it's bad to hideous to me. I just didn't want to put it in hideous because what I put in hideous, I think, needs to be shipped to other countries as opposed to this one's like passable if you have a uniform that works with it.
They should
Okay.
have thrown if they shouldn't have changed it. If they're gonna change it, you should just stuck a different sticker on there, like the bear logo or something.
Hmm.
The orange is just a miss, and I love orange. Orange is my favorite color. This is not it.
Yeah.
Commanders here have got a black helmet. This one is interesting to me because it is a new brand. I haven't seen it a ton, but they've rebranded at a time where they just come in to existence with multiple helmets. I like this helmet except for the stupid W like above the face mask, like in the middle. Like it just looks so dumb, bro. Like I like besides that, this is like an amazing helmet, but because of that, it's like it's bad. Which maybe that's
Well,
harsh, but
well, we disagree, but we don't disagree by too much here because this is the helmet that I threw in hideous needs to be shipped off to China and never to be seen again. Because I understand the thought process in trying to have a kind of like battle gray type helmet with like the number on the side go with the whole warrior commander like military type vibe. I like the idea of it, but this helmet's just terrible. Make the helmet keep the numbers on the side, keep the garnet gray, but then just copy your like garnet red helmet that you have. I think the Washington Commanders rebrand's actually good for them, for obviously multiple reasons. But
sure.
I do really like their away uniform with like the garnet red little dot design into the like on the numbers and things like that. Like I really
Yeah.
like that. And I think they could have done a little more of that on their actual uniforms, but this isn't a uniform stuff. So, but it's helmets. But with the helmets, I think the W, I think just the whole thought process of the helmet was just bad. I think you need to scrap it and completely start over, and maybe take one or two of the things like the color of the helmet and the number and try to incorporate it differently. But no, I mean, this one's hideous for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to put the Bears one in hideous, but no, this one is really it's in a completely different tier to the Bears one to me because the Bears one's passable if you at least haven't if you rock it with the Navy jersey where it
Okay.
contrasts a little as opposed to this like all like battle gray stuff that they're trying to go with and it doesn't look good.
I am glad, I will say, and then we'll move on, that it's not that like mustard yellow color that the numbers are. That I think would have been worse. We're gonna move on to Carolina. Why don't you lead us off here with Carolina?
All right, so Carolina, I understand your colors are kind of like a Carolina blue and black because you're the Panthers. The Panthers a dark animal and whatever. But I do not think you needed a black helmet. This is bad for me because I think you could have went away from the silver helmet, kept a lighter helmet, and just inverted the colors of what the helmet you actually did. Make the powder blue helmet with a Black Panther logo because it looks like at this point because of the black it just looks like the black of the panther is seaming in with the black of the helmet like how Boise State did back in like 2011, which I think was a good helmet for Boise State.
Yeah.
But I think you could do that exact theme but with that kind of Carolina powder blue-esque type color of a base color with the helmet and then invert the colors of the Carolina Panthers logo where the inside of the logo is the blue that matches with the helmet, and then the outline of the Panthers black, where it maybe pops a little more. I still think this is bad, but better than the Bears and Cardinals.
I completely disagree with you on this one because to me, this is like a top 3 helmet.
Okay.
I think it really works. And I think it works in the set, but also I just think we've ripped a lot of black helmets just because every team apparently was like, what if we had a black helmet? And they were like, yeah, that's a great idea. I think of the black helmets, this one is the best for me, just because the baby blue pops, I think, better than like the green does for the Jets. Or, the red and yellow maybe pops better, but it's just, that one's just bad. I like that it's matte. I think that works better on a black helmet. Um, I think it fits with a Panther kind of thing because Panthers are dark, like you said. I would like to see a baby blue helmet, though. Now that you've said that, I would like to know what that would look like
Yeah.
because I do think that could look potentially pretty good. But I wouldn't feel great about docking points from this because a baby blue one would be better.
And in reality, I feel like that is what I did. I saw the potential in what this could be, and I was like, all right, this is bad.
Yeah. I think a baby blue helmet could be better, but at the same time, I think this one's pretty good. I'm gonna throw it. I I would say it's good. I'm gonna throw it at the top of whatever.
Okay.
Uh, just so the Eagles aren't alone at this point in the video. You know what? We're gonna let you go first again because your favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons, the Red Throwbacks, they're finally back, baby. What?
They
How you
are.
feeling?
And this is along with the Cowboys alternate in amazing. When the Falcons rebranded 2 years ago, I was hoping that they would rebrand with the red helmet in mind, and they didn't. But now with the one cap rule being gone, you can bring this thing back. And obviously, it doesn't fit very well with our current black jerseys, but you actually do bring back the old kind of Matt Ryan era black jersey to run with this thing too. And I think it matches really well. And it's one of the better uniform combinations in the NFL. No bias, no Falcons bias here. I think that red throwback helmets with the black jerseys, one of the better throwbacks in the National Football League. So it's great to have that one back. And it goes along with the Cowboys alternate with amazing for me.
I would agree. I think, and I'm not biased to the Falcons. I think that old Falcons logo is sick. I don't know that they need to go back to it full time, but it is it's a very iconic logo. The red just looks amazing, and maybe it's just because it is so different from a black helmet. I will say I prefer that logo on red than I do on black. I think it looks better on red.
Yeah.
Uh, they nailed it. I mean, this is exactly what a Falcons throwback helmet should be. They didn't
It's the
change
Dirty
it.
Bird era. It's Deion
Yeah.
Sanders.
They didn't try to do anything crazy. They didn't try to add like stripes that shouldn't be there or make it matte or anything. Like this is what it should be. Uh, and I will tell you that that is an amazing for me, and it is the second best helmet because the best helmet is the Pat the Patriot helmet. For me personally, this is my favorite helmet of all time. It's simple. You got the logo on the side to me is iconic, and it might be one of the best logos in sports just across the board. And it is sad that it disappeared for a while, but I am thrilled that it's back. And maybe this is more nostalgia for me than anything, but I remember watching Brady in this jersey all those years ago. That one game in the snow where he threw one to Randy Moss and they put up like 50 is a
Yeah.
memory burned in my head. I don't know really why because I didn't watch a lot of Patriots football, but that is a play that I remember. Maybe I'll find the clip and you guys will be able to watch it in the video. But yeah, this is the best one to me, hands down. it's even on another level than the Falcons one, in my opinion. But that might just be some Patriots bias. What do you think, Justin?
It's hideous. Throw it in the bin. No, I'm kidding. What 28-3 aside, I think this is the best helmet the NFL's ever had.
Yeah.
And no, I mean I have a Patriots jersey in my football collection because of this. I have a Tim Tebow #5 Pat the Patriot uniform. Whenever
Really?
Tebow played for the Patriots, and I ordered one. So the
Oh,
thing
nice.
is, I even though I hate saying I have a Patriots uniform in my closet, it is one of the best uniforms of all time. The helmet
Yeah.
is iconic. Whether it was Brady wearing it, or the chance that Tebow could have wore it, or even back in the terrible days when they were wearing it normally and were doing terrible, like it's still a very iconic look. And I think the Falcons, Cowboys, and Patriots were the three teams the NFL truly had in mind when they cut this rule saying, hey, you
Yeah.
can finally bring back your Thanksgiving helmet or your throwbacks that everyone loved. So for me,
Yeah.
it's hard to choose a winner between the Falcons throwback, Cowboys alternate, and Pat the Patriot throwback, because to me, they're all like amazing tier. But no, I mean, that Pat Patriot helmet has to go in amazing.
Yeah. I really think that there's not, that one's just my favorite. I don't know that it's better than the red one. If you were like to put up, if you were to make a list of the qualities, I don't know that it's better because I feel like you're right. They're all kind of in the same realm. For me personally, that's my favorite one. If they were like, yo, you only, the league only gets to keep five, I think all three of those are in the same. You definitely keep those three, and then you coin flip for the next two, I guess. But
No, in reality, if we were doing that, I think it's Atlanta's, Dallas's alternate, Pat the Patriot, Bengals white, and Giants throwback. I think those are the five that stay.
yeah, I think I would agree. I would agree with that. Of the list here, I think those are the five that is a necessity to stay. But all right, let's do this real quick here at the end. Give me like two or three helmets that need to come back or exist now that this is a rule.
Well, I am not even sure with you. Um,
I'll give you
you go
one.
first while I try to look up old helmets.
I'll give you the one that I think would be real interesting is like the Bills red helmet to come back.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't think about that one.
I am glad that the Bills wear the white helmet full time because I think that is a better helmet. But I think the red one for like the '90s kids, like we kind of are, would be
Yep.
nostalgic. Not that they really want to relive the Drew Bledsoe days, but
I think the two that come to mind that are a necessity to return, which I'm surprised they didn't, were the Denver Broncos John Elway Royal Blue one with that
that's
the
true.
D logo with the Broncos swinging the bat or whatever it was,
Yeah,
and then Tampa Bay's creamsicle white. Yeah, I mean, and I looked through those. Um, I mean, maybe the Dolphins bring back their like undefeated season helmet with like their old logo, but again, that's not an alternate helmet for what they really have. It's just a different logo on their white helmet.
yeah,
Um, Seattle could bring back their silver helmet from a while
yeah.
back. Um, Maybe even the Vikings bring back their purple people eater, like dark purple. But
Minnesota could
no,
do with a black jersey.
yeah, and I've seen a lot of mock-ups for that, but nothing really looks good with their current. Like a black uniform and black jersey doesn't really look as good with their current setup. I think what the Vikings have is great for their purple jersey and great for white jersey, but
Yeah,
I don't think it's good for adding in a yellow or even a black. It
yeah.
looks weird. But
I
no,
think
I mean
I would be
I
interested to
think
see a black helmet with a black jersey for Minnesota as like a color
yeah.
rush.
The Bills red, one of the Broncos, because the Broncos even have like an orange throwback helmet with a
Yeah,
very Cartoon Network design. Bronco on it that I think is actually a good helmet if you want to bring back orange helmets. There's some good helmets left off when I actually kind of Google search this. So
I'll give you one for the memes. The Eagles like yellow and baby blue helmet.
oh jeez. No.
Bring that one back just for the hideousness because it's bad. That's like a McNabb era. When I think of that jersey, I think of McNabb and it like glistened on his body and it was just hilarious every time.
Yeah. No, I would be against that one. And hey, I guess if Philadelphia wants to go with one, how about the white helmet with the green eagle?
How
The
about the
Michael Vick era and the 69 to 73 helmet.
how about the Kelly Green one?
And Kelly Green one's not bad either. Yeah, see, the Eagles could have done so much better than a black helmet.
Yeah. The more we talk about this, the Eagles helmet might just be bad.
I think I need to join the Eagles marketing team in terms of uniforms and all that because I don't know how that was not brought up in conversation. If it was, why did you turn that down?
It had to be, and they had to be like next year. Because that's the only explanation of like the creamsicle jersey isn't back for Tampa because they didn't want to drop that with the Pat the Patriot and the Falcon one and the Giants one and the Cowboy one. They were like, we'll save some throwbacks for next year.
Potentially, but I would even say Tampa may want to do that as another rebrand once Brady's gone. Because I think the Buccaneers have
Yeah.
a good uniform set for them now. But you never know. With Brady being gone in a year or two, maybe they're like, all right, time to completely rebrand, time to bring back the creamsicles.
I don't know, man. There's some, I'm
Maybe,
sure we've forgotten about some. If you've made it this far in the video, comment them below.
yes. One other that I might see in the comments is that the Texas Chiefs AFL throwback one, like the Dallas Chiefs.
The Texas. They wore that
Yeah,
against the Cowboys at some point. Fun fact about that game: Miles Austin had like 8,000 yards receiving in that game, and it got him paid. So
it
for
did.
respect. Uh, yeah, I can't think of any other off the top of my head that would need to.
No, after Google searching, I didn't see any others that popped out to me as like, we need this.
Yeah, at least not throwbacks. Yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. Justin, give him another word to comment. Make sure it's not reliever.
All right. If you made it to this part of the video, let's see. Let's comment Axiom for that Riddell Axiom helmet that Ezekiel Elliott now wears and looks like he's in 2057.
Looks like he's trying to be a member of the NFL's version of Tron.
Exactly.
What a movie that was. I had almost blocked that completely from my memory until I said it. Dang. Dude, what an era of movie.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. And the fact that Disney's now got a roller coaster for them
Do they
now.
actually?
Yeah, they're building one over in the Disney World down in Florida.
Oh, God. I don't like that at all. We're going to end with that sour taste in your mouth.